Sales calls, love them or hate them, most coaches hate them. Why? Because they're jumping on a call with somebody that doesn't want to be sold to, arm wrestling somebody into paying them to join their coaching program. Now that's not everyone, but for the most part, you know what you're getting yourself into. It's a conversation that might end up nowhere. And if you're trying to grow a coaching business, looking at a calendar full of sales calls during the week is going to hold you back from marketing, working on the business, helping clients, and ultimately, it's going to drain you. This training is going to teach you how to sell 1 to 5K coaching packages without ever getting on a sales call again. Or, if you still want to do them, you can cut them down by 50% so that you can get your time back, use it to grow your business, or have more fun. Pay attention, grab a pen and paper, and if you want help installing this system into your business, go into the show notes and connect with our head of client relations, and we'll walk you through how we can help you plug it into your business right away. You're gonna get a ton from this. Get ready. I wanna tell you a little story. This is important before I get in. I used to tell myself I wanted to be rich. I said to myself, I really want to use this coaching business to build a great life, have money, do what I want, go on holiday when I want, buy the stuff that I want, and equally enjoy it, because I loved coaching. But I struggled to market myself. I sometimes didn't know what to say. I was afraid of being seen. I was afraid of just sharing content for the sake of sharing it. I also struggled to ask for money. I was really talented. I had a university degree. I had a huge bodybuilding background. I was in great shape, but I struggled to ask for money largely due to the environment that I grew up in. The friends that I had, the parents that I had, their beliefs in money. I inherited all of that. And I was trapped in the same thing many of you are, doing endless sales calls, undervaluing myself, and worst of all, tolerating it. I was jumping on sales calls, having roundabout conversations with people that didn't really want to commit. And quite frankly, there was a large part of me that felt like I was wasting my time. And when you add in that I didn't like asking for money and all of this kind of stuff, it kind of made it worse. So it was like jumping on call after call after call to just possibly experience rejection. And I didn't like it. So I wanted more growth. I wanted more success, and most importantly, freedom. But fear of failing and looking stupid held me back. These are the very things that held me back from making the moves and trying new things to grow my business. I was comfortable being stuck. I was comfortable doing the calls. Even though they sucked, I knew what they kind of felt like. So I want you to be honest. Have you ever wanted more, but deep down, fear of failing has kept you trapped? This applies to every level of the game, whether you are under 10K, over 20K, or over 100K per month. You want more from your business, whether that's more money, whether that's more freedom, whether that's more reputation, whether that's more success. But deep down, fear of failing and trying new stuff and looking stupid is what keeps us stuck. There's a lot of people relating to this. This is important because at the end of the day, I'm delivering this and I want to ensure that I'm accurate with it. So one day everything changed. Something really pissed me off. I was in the gym coaching clients and I was doing a consult. And there was a girl that came in to see me. And here's the story. She came in to see me and she used to coach with a trainer that, lo and behold, I used to coach. And whenever we went through all of her problems, her goals, her challenges, and everything else, it came to talk about price. And I pitched my price. And the first thing that she said to me was this: "Whoa, you're really cheap." And I went, "What do you mean?" The first thing that I thought of was the trainer that she was with, which was the trainer that I coached for 3 years. Taught him how to squat, taught him how to do literally everything. And then she said, "Yeah, you're literally half the price of Ashley, the other guy that coached me, the guy that I coached." And I was literally my mouth dropped, my heart dropped. I got massively triggered because I was like, I coached this guy, built him up to a specific level. And lo and behold, later on, I actually found out that This guy had gone and learned marketing, gone and learned sales, gone and learned business. Because guess what? When you're a really good coach, you tend to focus more on the education and you tend to focus more on all of the tools to get an amazing client result than you actually do your business. And it was at that point that I realized that I was actually missing a skill. And I was missing a skill that was costing me. The fact that this girl had come to me willing to pay me more, and I was now voluntarily giving up my time to get half as much as what I could, really pissed me off. So at that moment, when I got triggered, I said to myself, never again would I undervalue myself. In fact, I said, never again would I tolerate the shit I didn't like in my business. And this applies to everything. If you're not making the money that you want, if you are working with clients that you do not like, if you are posting marketing material that doesn't align with who you are, if you are right through, like, fed up doing the jobs and tasks that drain you, sales calls being one of them, get rid of them. This is a massive throwback picture. Like, I am literally I'm 37 now, but this is in my 20s. This is in my mom and dad's kitchen where I took a photograph on my vintage iPhone and I said, you know what? We're going all in this. Fuck tolerating this stuff. I was undercharging. I was making good money, but I was working with so many clients. I was at the beck and call of so many people. And I was just fed up and drained because I realized that I couldn't grow into it. I couldn't take on any more clients. Otherwise, I was going to implode. So I backed myself. I made a commitment to myself, right? I said, you know what? We're going all in on this. I'm going to build the skills of business. I'm going to master them. And that's why I've got so good at it. So I want you to understand that the areas in your business that absolutely suck right now, the things that trigger you, the things that annoy you, the things that upset you, the things that you don't want to do, are the very things that you actually need to learn how to fix in order to unlock new levels of money, new levels of happiness, new levels of confidence, and new levels of life. Because if you continue to tolerate them, that's your standards. I cannot get this into your head enough. Your standards are what you tolerate. So if you're undercharging, if you're putting out marketing that you know you don't like that's your standard. Learn how to do something else and give it a go and stop worrying about failure. Never again would I tolerate the problems I had the power to fix. That's the big punchline here. Every single one of you have the power to fix your marketing, your sales, your pricing, your money. You control how much money you make, and you control how much money you make by the skills and the strategies that you apply to your business. Okay? So I want you to all understand that. And that night I made a commitment to get out of my shitty comfort zone and go to war on my circumstances. A comfort zone is not necessarily always nice and comfortable. A comfort zone can also be shit. So for example, I was happy doing 12 sales calls a week because I knew what it felt like. I knew what to expect. As coaches and trainers, every single person on this line knows what it's like to do another client check-in, jump on a call, post marketing, and manage 101 things. Type it in the chat if you're with me on this. You know what it's like to be able to hold a lot of challenge and a lot of stress. You know what it's like. You've got capacity. All of you are hardworking. There's nobody here that isn't hardworking. You know what it's like to balance it all. Right? And the thing is, that is a comfort zone because we end up trapped in it because we're afraid of missing out on the opportunity. And we keep on playing the same game because so many of us are afraid to do this. 1 step back, 3 steps forward. We're afraid. Okay? We want to please clients. We want to keep money coming in, but we don't actually think about the stuff that we're doing and how we're feeling. Right? Wishing doesn't change a damn thing. Sitting and daydreaming about it is going to do nothing. Only action does. Success does not happen by chance. Your dreams will only come true if you go to war on your circumstances. That is a very strong and polarizing word, but if you are not happy with it and you are here today to fix it, please go to war on your circumstances. You want to be armed to the teeth with the knowledge, the skill, the accountability, the backing, and most importantly, the people behind you that will make it happen. And you owe it to yourself. Right? You are your biggest backer. If you do not back yourself with your marketing, with your sales, with your offers, with the stuff that you're trying, it's not worth it. And I love this quote by Tony Robbins: you get what you focus on. And so many of us are more focused on what could go wrong and what sucks in our business than actually what could go right. And I know that there are people here that want to change their market. I know there are people here that want to charge more money. I know there are people here that are worked to the absolute bone, that are scared to hire. I know there are people here that are fed up of doing sales calls but don't know what to do because they keep on taking them because they think they're going to make money. But every time they look at their calendar on a Sunday night, they go, flip me, I've got 3 or 4 calls across the week. I know I have to cancel something or I have to move it. Right? Why are you tolerating that? A business was designed to give you freedom. And here's the truth. If you keep focusing on booking sales calls, you'll stay stuck on draining sales calls. Period. So, if you focus on working smarter, you'll sell more and you'll work less. That is the goal here. I want you to work less and I want you to make more. So that is what today is all about. So just imagine running your business without a single sales call. No more chasing, no more wasted hours. How would that change things for you? If I said to you that you never had to do another sales call again, how would that feel? And what would you do with the time? Game changer. What else? Amazing. Freedom. Here's a big truth that I'm about to drop. The reason why many of you cannot grow your business is because that more clients, more sales calls equals more pain. And you do not grow into pain. And when you do not grow into pain, you subconsciously self-sabotage and hold yourself back from marketing, making offers. Why? Because it disrupts your lifestyle and puts you at a chance of failure. So, that feeling you just imagined is not fantasy. It's possible. And it's exactly what we're here to unpack today. The old model of grinding out sales calls is slow, draining, and it caps your growth. It's outdated. It is so 2020. Sales calls work. They worked better back in 2020. This new way is smarter. It's faster, and it lets you sell 1 to 5K packages without ever picking up the phone. So let me walk you through how this works. And full transparency, before I go into this, I am not saying that sales calls are evil. Sales calls are wrong. I'm telling you that sales calls are actually very useful to connect with your market. They're useful for market research, and they're very useful for training your confidence on how to sell, which you can then layer into every other area of your business. So they are a great place to start, but they are not a good place to grow into. And there are smarter ways. And I want you to understand that sales calls are just one of the many, many ways that you can get clients. There's a bunch of other ways. And I'm going to teach you one in particular way today. Just before I go into this, you've got sales calls, you've got referrals, joint ventures and collaborations. You've got selling over docs, selling over Loom, sales workshops, sales calls themselves, selling with a small sales team, doing outreach. There are numerous ways to sell. There's over 7. But I'm going to teach you one of them today that isn't sales calls. So principle number 1, the sale is made before the call. The sale is made before anybody steps on a call with you. Every yes and no is decided long before you speak. Your content does the heavy lifting. This is very important to realize. Your content deals with the objections, the pain points, the fears, and everything that the market has. Your content lets people know whether they love you or they hate you, whether they like you or dislike you, whether they warm to you or they don't warm to you. Your content does all of that. And there's a right way and a wrong way to build content. Here's the right way. Number 1, you build a base of long-form content, podcasts, YouTubes, regular emails, workshops just like this, and you build the basis of your business on long form. This builds trust and authority. I cannot figure out who you are by watching a 30-second reel. In fact, I want all of you to just go and grab your phones right now, and I want you to hold them up in front of the camera. Go and do it for me. Go and grab your mobile phone and hold it up in front of the camera. And I want you to go into Instagram, and I want you to go to your last reel. Please do this. This is a very important exercise. Go into Instagram and look at your last reel, and I want you to click Insights. And I want you to scroll, and I want you to find the average watch time of your last reel that you produced. And I want you to type it into the chat. 14 seconds, 5 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 10, 4 seconds. What else have we got? 6, 9, 15. All right, I'm going to ask you all an honest question. Do you believe that you can build a genuine relationship with somebody on the internet with that amount of time consuming your content and ask them for 1 to 5K? No, you cannot. Right? No, you cannot. So, here's a big deadening point of truth for you. If you're putting money, time, energy, and effort into reels where somebody only watches 10 to 15 seconds, how much of that reel is wasted time, wasted effort, and wasted money? Especially if you're using an editing team. It's a complete waste of time. So, do you now start to see why you need to prioritize long form? Because that's where you build the relationship, and that's exactly what I want to do with you guys today. The second is proof, which is also considered long form. It might also be considered short form, but generally speaking, proof, case studies, testimonials, and screenshots builds a belief that you can actually do what you say you can do. And a lot of coaches struggle with proof. Big punchline. If you do not have proof, or you struggle to generate it quickly enough, everything gets harder. Marketing gets harder, sales gets harder, everything gets harder. And last but not least, short form. Reels and stories grabs attention. Do you know what the big problem is? I'm going to get to it in a minute. But if you stack all of these together, the sale is made before the call. Here's how most coaches do it. Short form takes up the brunt and the priority and the main use of your energy and time. Why? Do you know why? Because if you're a coach, there's a very good chance that you grew up using Instagram to, 1, look at other people in your industry, 2, share off your physique, or just scroll, and it's a natural platform for you. But you don't actually look at it through the actual lens of marketing and sales. The main focus with most people's short form is to focus on just getting views and followers. Don't get me wrong, they're important, but it's not the be-all, end-all. Proof. Most coaches struggle to produce good quality social proof. The best clients and the biggest earners in the game have the best social proof. If you don't have great social proof, your product's shit, and you're letting everybody know it. Be very careful about sharing social proof. You want to show your best social proof, not just any social proof. The social proof needs to be mind-blowing. If it's not mind-blowing, then it's not going to convert. Then, long form. Here's what most people's long form looks like. Can anybody relate to this? It's non-existent, or it's ad hoc, zero depth. Long form adds depth to your content. Long form builds a relationship. Long form lets them know that you are the person that they want to consult. You are the person that they want to work with and essentially help them achieve the life that they dream of. Short form, it is a very, very hard way to get through to people. The average person needs 7 hours of content from you in order to make a buying decision. Google actually did this research. It's called the moment of truth. 7 hours of content with 11 different touch points and interactions. You can't do that on short form. 7 hours, make that up with 10 seconds. How many reels is that? You know, I'm spending a good 2+ hours with you guys today. If we take that long, that's a long amount of time. So I want you to understand that if you don't have this whole entire ecosystem built up and you are just relying on Instagram to get clients, that it's no surprise that you're struggling. It's no surprise that you are finding it difficult. And there's nothing that pains me more than seeing a coach pay a lot of money for graphic design, branding, video editing, and looking good, only to put it up and get 10 to 13 seconds on a reel. It's completely the wrong thing to focus on. And yet most coaches will get anxious when they don't post on social media. Why? People are only watching 10 to 13 seconds of it. And by the way, if you've got a reel where you're talking about a rant or a family member or something like that and people are watching more of it, it's not related to your business. It's not related to solving problems. All right. So the real currency is getting people into your long form content and material and binging it. You know you're going to make a lot of money whenever you hear these words. I've been following your content for a very long period of time, and I have binged your podcast and all your other stuff. That's whenever you know that you have got a high quality lead in front of you that is about to get their wallet out and buy from you. Why? Because they know who you are. I also asked this question. Does anybody here remember the last reel that they watched? Yes or no? Everybody's laughing. You're all laughing because you don't know, right? That's what customers are like. That's what the market is like. So please understand, in a sea of content nowadays where there's more noise than ever before, you want to be creating depth. Now, this is one area that I'm not going to coach on today, but I need to make you aware, because if you do not have this in place, if you miss a layer, here's what happens. All short form and no depth, you look like every other influencer and fitness coach. You become a commodity. All long form and no attention, so you could be producing YouTubes and podcasts, but you're not producing your short form, you're going to be invisible. And if you have no proof, you're going to sound good, but nobody's going to buy from you. And that's the problem. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So, the same goes for your content. If one layer is missing, the whole system underperforms. Be honest. What's your biggest content gap? Now that I've covered that, what have you just realized is a gap or a broken link in your business? Type it into the chat. Let me hear. If you're listening to the replay, please again write this down. Long form, 100%. I do 0 long form. 0 long form. 0 long form. Long form. Long form. 0 long form. Can we make a commitment today, guys, to start building long form content? Long form content is anything that's over 5 minutes long. It's a podcast, a YouTube, a workshop, speaking on stage, all of that. I'm not here to teach you how to do that today. We have a unique system that teaches coaches how to do that. That's not what today's call is about. The reason why I'm sharing this is if you want this to work effectively, you need to have what's called all your ducks in a row. If you do not have this aligned, you're going to be struggling for sales calls anyway. So please understand that there are prerequisites that need to be in place for this to work effectively, regardless of whether you want no sales calls or you want to do them. Principle number 2. This is going to blow a few minds. Are you ready? Just type in the chat, yes, if you want to hear this. All right, listen carefully. The words that leave my mouth are grounded on a lot of experience. I have worked with a lot of coaches who have succeeded. I've worked with a lot of coaches that are challenged, and I've worked with a lot of coaches that have failed, particularly over the last 3 years. Principle number 2 is to start the conversation but change the script. Now listen carefully. What is the golden metric that your content is working? Like, how do you know your content is really working? I'd love a few answers in the chat just to test. What have we got? Engagement. What else have we got? Type it in. Messages. What else? Conversations. Sales. Yep, absolutely. DMs and calls booked. Inbound inquiries are the golden metric that your content is resonating and making people feel safe to reach out. If you are not, as a bare minimum, getting 5 to 10 inquiries a week into your inbox, your content is all up the left. You're either not being seen, your content is completely off the mark and confusing or not making people feel safe, and it needs fixed. Essentially, you're either not being seen or people don't trust you. It's one of the two. If they can't see you, they can't trust you. If they can't trust you, there's a discrepancy. You're not going to buy financial advice from a broke accountant. So, you know better than anybody else, what is it that's the broken link? People feel safe reaching out when your content hits. They feel like you get them. If your content doesn't hit the mark, nobody will DM you. So, if you reflect on this week, it's Wednesday, you should have had at least 2 to 3 inbound inquiries as a bare minimum, particularly after the weekend. The weekend is one of the best times to engage because people are sitting around on their phones and they have plenty of time to think. This is what I tell clients all the time. The best days to market are on a Saturday and a Sunday. For most people, working a Monday through to Friday is stressful. You could certainly aim it in the evening when people are sitting around on the couch on Netflix. But the deepest and best time to market coaching and consulting is on a Saturday or a Sunday, when people have free time to think, when people are in a reflective mindset of the week. Today we focus on inbound only, not outreach, because it's the most leveraged path. I want to make something very clear. An inbound inquiry is 10 times more likely to close than an outreached or outbounded inquiry. But I also want to make all of you aware that you need both if you want to really scale your numbers. Why? An inbound inquiry is when people have plucked up the courage to ask for help. An outreach or outbound message to somebody that has shown intent or interest in you is essentially putting it into their hands. Most people struggle to ask for help. You would be surprised, but there is a substantial amount of money sitting in your followers, in your email inbox, and in your list right now that you haven't engaged or outreached. People are afraid to do outreach because they think it's salesy. It's only salesy when you go to a cold lead that's never heard of you and you go and try to sell them. It is not salesy when somebody engages in your content, interacts, or regularly follows or consumes. You have full permission to reach out to them, start a conversation, and talk to your leads. Don't have lonely leads. Simple as. But we're going to focus on inbound inquiries today because it's the most leveraged path. Again, I only have 2 hours with you guys, so I really want to ensure that I give you the highest leverage path. This can go so many ways, but I'm going to keep it tight for you. And if you want to explore how to advance that and install these systems so that you cover everything in the entire sales and marketing chain, then hold on to the end. The old way, people inquire, you get them to book a call, and you repeat it for the 100th time. How many people do this? Just type in me. How many people do this? All right. Okay, a lot. Okay, cool. All right. Is there any reason why you do it? Can you just type in why? Like, why do you do it? Why is it your main way to sell? I think because everyone else does, to be honest. Yes. It has worked in the past. Bullshit advice. I agree. It's the only way I know. Build context. Yep. It's what we've been told. It's the way I've been told. Like I said, it works. It's also important for doing customer research. It's also important for building your confidence. Sales calls work. This is not in any way, shape, or form a session designed to completely bastardize them because they work. However, there is a smarter way. The problem with this is, whenever you engage with an inbound inquiry, you ask exactly the same questions you'd ask on a sales call. Also, if you use an application form, you tend to get a list of questions that ask the very thing that you're going to cover on the sales call. Also, the lead knows if they're going to get on a call, they're going to be put into an environment where they have to make a buying decision and ultimately be sold to. And most people don't like to be sold to. Here's the truth. Your best clients, your best leads want to know 3 things. And this is it. And this is what an inbound inquiry wants to know. How does it work? When can I get started? And how much does it cost? That's all they want to know. They already know about your results. They already know how good you are. They already know about everything else that you do. So there's a smarter and better way. And it's mind-blowingly simple. This is not complex. This is not hard. Everybody here can do this. Here it is. Number 1, you initiate the chat in the DM with the inbound inquiry that comes into you. And there's 3 things you need to focus on: their pain, their goals, and whether or not they're a fit. 3 simple things, exactly what you would be doing on a sales call. Number 2 is you send them a Loom instead of a call. Now I'm going to run you through how you do this, what you say, and the framing, which is very important. So, 3 paths to start a conversation. Number 1, you can text them back. It's scalable, it's simple, or you can outsource it. I recommend that all of you do this first for the next 10 deals that you get in. And then if you've got a chat team, that you can outsource it or teach them how to do it. Number 2, you can send an audio. Personal, fast connection. Most people aren't expecting it because most people think that you're busy. That's another reason why a lot of people won't reach out to you, is because they think that you're too busy. Number 3 is a video. Manual or pre-recorded, highly engaging. You can record a couple in 3 or 4 different t-shirts and fire them back, because everything in an inbound inquiry follows exactly the same flow. What is the pain point? What are your goals? And are you a good fit? So here's the 3 questions. And this is literally what you can open up with text, with audio, with video. Number 1, pain. Hey, thanks for reaching out. Tell me about your circumstances. Where are you stuck? Where do you need help? And what have you tried to fix it, and why hasn't it worked? Straight away, you're going to get a full story of where they're stuck, what's wrong. You need to find that out in order to determine whether or not you can help them. So for example, if you coach male bodybuilders on how to build muscle and somebody reaches out and says, I want to do my first marathon. I'm also vegan and I don't like meat. There's a very good chance that you're going to find that complex and hard to deliver on. The next thing is to contrast that with thanks for sharing. Love to know what would need to happen for you to be happy. What are your goals? What would you like to achieve in the next 90 days, 12 months? That gives you a perspective on what they want to achieve. You would be asking exactly the same thing on a sales call. Once they then give you all of those answers, which might be over a day, which might be over a couple of days, which might be over a few minutes, normally you can tell the quality of a lead by the speed at which they reply. Fit. Why would you make a good client? Tell me, why would you make a good client? What content of mine have you consumed? Is this a do it now thing or a do it later kind of thing? These are very basic, regular sales questions, but they get to the point fast. They find pain fast, they address and get clear on goals, and they determine whether or not they're a fit. So you end up actually having all of the raw material that you need for a sale. Here are the problems, here are my goals, and here's why I follow you, trust you, and when I want to do it. That's all you need to basically frame a sale. And they have reached out. They are the ones that want to know from you how you can help them. Is everybody clear on those very simple questions? Just give me a hand up. Let me know. Simple, right? So you would be asking those on a sales call. There's then a transition, and this is where the process comes in. Once you know you can help them and they're a good fit. So for example, if somebody comes on and you're happy with the answers and they share something like, I've been following you for a while, I love your results, I saw your post the other day, I just thought I'd reach out, you've trained my friend Sharon, you've X, Y, and Z, you've done this, you've done that, then you know that they're a good fit. If they're not a good fit, you can literally just tell them, look, I don't think this is going to be a good fit. I'm not your guy, I'm not your girl, voila. But once you know you can help them and you know they're a good fit, you can make them an offer. And here's the way this goes. You can send them a Loom. You say something like this. Thanks for sharing. Based on what you've told me, I can definitely help. So you acknowledge that. Just so you know, I don't do sales calls. By the time my clients reach out, they've already decided they want to work with me. I'm going to put together a clear run through of how my coaching works, what it will do for you and how to get started. I'll send it over in the next hour. That cool? Something along the lines of that. That's it. Now, if you sense the lead is cagey, scared, you can offer a call. So if you really want to, you can also add in, look, if you need a call to connect with me, I'm more than happy to provide that, but the video I'm going to send you over runs you through absolutely everything you need to know so you can make an informed decision. Very simple, very clear, very transparent. And the candidness of this is actually the very thing that makes the sale happen. Ready buyers take the Loom. Buyers who need reassurance might choose a call. Either way, you control the frame. People buy into you because of certainty. And if you've got certainty, they will see it in you. And again, remember what I said, your best clients want to know how it works, when they can get started, and how much it is. So jumping on a sales call to repeat this stuff is a waste of time. And it also delays the sales cycle. So for example, if you're available in 3 or 4 or 5 days, people can change their mind. Life can get in the way. So why does Loom work so well? By the way, Loom is a software recording tool. It's 2025, 2026. I would love to hope that everybody here has got Loom or something on their computer that does a similar thing. It's a screen recording software that you can send links. It's a beautiful communication tool. But here's why it works so well. It's safe. There's a no pressure environment. Number 2, they can watch it twice. They can watch it with their partner. Number 3, you can track the views. You can see how many times they've viewed it, where they've watched it to, all of that stuff. It's easy to duplicate. So you can create a second version, third version, fourth version for other people, and you can name it. So Loom for you, Loom for John, Loom for X, provided that you dial it in and build it around the following framework that I'm about to share with you. 10% of the work goes into the opening conversation. 80% of the work goes into the Loom that you will pre-record and have done for your business and your offer. 10% is for objections and follow-up and maybe collecting the payment. So that 80% is leveraged. So instead of jumping on a call, you get back a significant amount of energy and a significant amount of time. I cannot stress this enough. Your best customers have already decided that they want to work with you. They just need the cliff notes on how everything works. So, before I go into what do you put into the Loom, I would just love to know in the chat what stands out for you the most as I go through this. What stands out for you the most in all of this? Type it in. Time saving, leveraging time. It's simple. It doesn't need to be complex. Exactly. That if we do the job well, upfront the lead is already sold. Beautiful. Leverage. That it still sounds structured and professional. It's non-salesy. Nobody likes being sold to. Even your best leads. Your best leads don't want to hop on a sales call. They just want to buy. That I need a Loom. Does each prospect get a personal Loom, or is it a one Loom you can send? It is a universal Loom that you can send, and you rename it and you can duplicate it. Faster for client and less awkwardness. 100%. The client makes a buying decision way quicker because they can watch it in their own time. If I can watch it in my own time with my partner, as some of you may know, if you're coaching a husband or you're coaching a wife and they're going into a transformation, they might want to sit and watch it together. If anything, it educates the partner on the process, which then, when they bump into friends or at the dinner table with other like-minded people, they can then go, oh, well, here's how his process works. So it's beautiful. What else have we got? Removing the idea that we need to do all that warming up the lead and report. Absolutely. So what do you put in the Loom? Well, here's what you put into the Loom. I'm going to break this down. You open up the Loom with, hey, thanks for chatting. Really excited to help you. Here's what you need. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And then you run through the logistics. Then you transition into the investment. Then you transition into the objections, if they have any. And then you transition into the call to action. And there's no reason why you couldn't have this shot and done in under 12 minutes. You create a folder in Loom with a base template, test 1, test 2, test 3, try a couple of different variations, and try the one and look at which one converts the best. Now, what do you say for each section? Here's how to talk about each of them. Logistics. And I'm mindful that we're just coming into an hour here. So logistics, what's the first thing that we say? Here's exactly what you need. First things first is a plan. So you always know what to focus on. Then run them through how you plan things out. This is what we do for a client. This is how we plan goals for a client. Okay? And you show people examples of how you plan. Okay? And essentially you give them a behind the scenes look at everything that you do for clients. People love to see behind the scenes. Number 2, we train you up on these particular areas. Show them your model, show them your ethos, so that you can make better decisions and stop second guessing. Number 3, accountability. And number 4, support, so that you never get stuck. Here's how we keep you accountable. Here's how we give you support. Here's the way one-on-one works. Here's the way group works. Here's the way this works. Here's the way that works. Here's our coaching tool that we use. Here's our bot that we use. Here's our plans that we use. Here's our check-ins that we use. Here's the questions we ask you. And then community. Show them pictures of your community. Show them pictures of your events. Show them pictures of your workshops. And essentially, you frame it as like-minded people holding you to a higher standard. Now, it is useful to use visuals on this, but it is also useful just to use plain, simple text like this. You then roll into the investment. The investment is really simple. Here's how it works. You can pay up front with one simple payment and save this, or you can go into split pay, spread over X months. Again, I'm not going to teach you about offers today. This is purely about the process. If you have all of this stuff already dialed in, amazing. You can just plug it into this process. If I'm going through this and you look at this and go, I don't have the marketing, I don't have the offer dialed in, I don't have this dialed in, well, it's probably worth staying to the end to figure out how we can fix that. Then you go into objections. And when you go into objections, it's very simple. You might be thinking, I know what you're thinking, and there are going to be objections around the following. I don't have time. Show how you save people time. And show case studies of how you helped other people make it work around their busy lives. So, prime example, we regularly get people reaching out saying that they want to grow their coaching business, but they don't have time. Yet, we have a client who is a single mom of 3, had a full-time job, and built a $30K a month coaching business. How does that work? So again, that would be a perfect example to use in this frame for somebody that doesn't have time. If it's important enough, you will make the time. There's no question about it. It's just like your physique. It's just like anything else. Okay? So again, you want to frame and show how your coaching, consulting, or program, in whatever niche that you're in. And by the way, this works for any niche. Fitness, health, strength, mindset, coaching, aesthetics, business coaching, you name it. So you show efficiency on others who made it work. Money. You might be thinking this is expensive. Look, here's what most people spend on a night out. Here's what this relates to. Here's what this relates to per month. Is all the goals that you mentioned worth this? So you know finally once and for all that you're doing all the right stuff. Self-belief. You might be thinking, will this work for me? You've maybe tried stuff before. Here's a client who doubted themselves, and here's what they did. Here's a client that tried this, 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 and this. Common solutions, but didn't work, and succeeded. Fear of commitment. What if I can't stick with it? Emphasize the support and the accountability. Emphasize why did they even reach out in the first place? And skepticism. I've tried before and failed. Use a case study of someone who broke through. So this essentially gets rid of all the objections. The call to action framework is absolutely simple, but incredibly beautiful. Look, at the end of all of this, there's going to be 3 decisions. It's going to be, I'm in, I'm ready to rock and roll, I'm ready to start. Great, here's what happens after. We send you this, you do that. Number 2, I'm in, but I've got a question. Shoot me back on Instagram, I'll get back to you. I'm in, but I'm moving house, I'm going on holiday, I can't start. Well, if that's the case and you really see that this could help you, put down a deposit and I'll lock you in. I'm out, it's not for me, never want to see you again, and happy days. It was great to connect. At least I know. So you get people to rule themselves in and you get people to rule themselves out. The beautiful thing about this is that this clarity makes buyers feel safe. There's no gray zone. There's no I need to think about it. There's no I need to process this. Why? Because they're watching the Loom in their own time. There's no pressure. So it's beautiful. It just creates this amazing, safe environment in a place where most coaches are just trying to get as many people on sales call and just force a program down their throat. I can tell you this from a lot of experience. If you are pushing sales, you will attract low quality clients. You never pressurize somebody into a sale because you'll end up with somebody that doesn't want to be there. The best sale and the best client that you get is somebody that wants to be there and wants to make it work. Here's a big truth. If you force people into your program, sell people into your program, you're unethically, and without them enabling and stepping into a better identity, your churn will go through the roof. Right? So the quality of client on the front end is paramount to the quality of retention on the inside. And most of you coaches know what churn's like. You know when you get a little churn message? Anybody know what that feels like? Put a hand up. Hey, I wish you well. It's been a great time here, but it's time for me to go. All right? Ain't good for your business. So this clarity makes buyers feel safe. So reality check. Some will reply instantly with I'm in, great client, want to sign up, boom, job done. They're aligned. Some will reply later. They might be busy. They might not get time to watch it. People might need a day or two to sit and watch through it. Will you simply reply on the message, will you let me know when you've watched it so that I know that you've seen it and you're taken care of? Some people will ghost you. It's just the nature of sales, and you just follow them up, right? This isn't going to close absolutely everyone, but it will close significantly higher quality, more committed clients that want to be with you. And that's what business is all about. So some big key points in this before I go into some Q&A. All you need is a laptop and Loom. You can use PowerPoint or Pages. Use clean fonts just like this. Use visuals, use diagrams, show behind the scenes of your program, groups, tech, stuff you're building, your events, show your social proof. But most importantly, follow the exact framework I've shared with you and get implementing it right away. Hey, if you have finished watching this video, it means that you really don't like sales calls, and two, you want more freedom back to work on your business to grow it or to have more fun. Look, if you want help installing this system into your business along with the 7 other sales vehicles that will free up your time, then click the link in the show notes. We work with over 12,000 health and fitness coaches and help them install smart systems like this that allow them to get back their time, make money faster, and most importantly, attract more committed clients. If you love your business and most importantly, love growing it, click the link below and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.